Imagine this. You're setting up the perfect backyard movie night, complete with cozy blankets, popcorn, and your favorite flicks. The air is crisp, the vibe is relaxed, and everything seems perfect. But then, asterisk bam asterisk, the dreaded knock on the door. It's the HOA Karen, and she's not happy. Apparently, your movie night is disturbing her peace, and she's calling 911. Yeah, you've heard that right. A full-blown 911 call, all because you're enjoying a film under the stars in your own backyard. At first, you're confused, thinking maybe it's a joke. But no, this Karen is serious. As the tension builds, you can't help but wonder how far she'll go with this. Will the cops really show up? And if they do, will they side with her? As you start to brace for the worst, you start to hear the sirens in the distance. Your backyard movie night is about to take a wild turn, and it's not the kind of plot twist you were expecting. Stay tuned, because when the cops show up, they've got more than just a ticket in hand. They've got popcorn. What happens next will leave you questioning the lengths some people will go to. Buckle up, this story's just getting started. As the sirens grow louder, you start to feel that uneasy knot in your stomach. You never thought something as simple as a backyard movie night could spark this much drama. It was supposed to be a relaxing evening. You and your friends had spent the last couple of hours setting up the projector, getting everything just right. You even made sure the volume was low enough to not disturb the neighbors. After all, you live in a suburban neighborhood where everyone's supposed to get along, right? But not with Karen. No, she's been on your case since you moved in. Every little thing you do seems to set her off. First, it was your garden lights. She complained they were too bright. Then, it was the kids playing outside past 8 p.m. Now, apparently, a movie night is the last straw for her. You try to wrap your head around it, but it doesn't make sense. This isn't just about a movie. This feels personal. Karen's been giving you dirty looks ever since you moved in, and you've always tried to keep things cordial. Yet, every chance she gets, she finds something else to complain about. You're starting to wonder if she's the kind of person who simply thrives on causing trouble, looking for anything to pick on. As you start to think it through, your doorbell rings. The cops are here. But instead of the stern faces you were expecting, they seem oddly chill. One of them even has a bag of popcorn in hand. What is happening? This is definitely not how you imagined your evening going. The tension in the air is thick, and you're left wondering, what's really going on here? As the door creaks open, you try to steady your nerves. The officers stand there, looking surprisingly relaxed. One of them, a tall guy with a slight grin, holds up the bag of popcorn like it's the most normal thing in the world. The other officer, a woman with short hair and sunglasses perched on her head, takes a quick glance around the yard. It's hard to read them. Are they here to take this seriously, or is this some kind of joke? Evening, folks, the man says with a slight chuckle, as if he's been to more than his fair share of odd calls. We got a complaint about noise. Everything okay? You blink, confused. Noise. You barely turn the volume up. The sound of the movie is just a low murmur, meant to blend with the night. You explain this, trying to keep things calm, but it feels like you're talking to a brick wall. Karen must have exaggerated the situation, and now you're stuck in this awkward standoff. The woman officer cuts in, her eyes scanning the scene. It doesn't sound like it's out of control, but we have to check it out, you know. Policy stuff. She nods toward Karen's house, barely visible through the rows of neatly trimmed hedges. Is she around? You're not sure what to say. Karen's been lurking around the corner of her yard, no doubt keeping an eye on you. The tension between your houses has always been there, but tonight it feels heavier than usual. Why did she choose now to escalate things? The officers walk a few steps toward her property, and you watch as Karen steps out onto her porch. She looks smug, as if she's already won, arms crossed over her chest. She shoots you a glance, her lips curling into a tight smile. The officers speak with her briefly, and then they return to you. Well, the man officer says, looking from you to Karen, we'll call it a warning tonight. Keep it down a bit, all right? He adds with a smile, and next time, invite us to the movie. This stuff looks fun. You're left standing there, bewildered, trying to understand what just happened. But as they turn to leave, you can't shake the feeling that this isn't over. Karen hasn't let you off the hook yet. There's a simmering hostility behind her eyes that tells you she's not done. You know, deep down, this is only the beginning. The officers leave, but the uneasy feeling doesn't go away. You try to shake it off, telling yourself that it's over, that Karen's been put in her place. But something in the back of your mind tells you it's far from done. Karen doesn't just let things go. You know her well enough by now to see the way she holds grudges. She's quiet, calculating, always watching for an opening. The next few days are tense. You keep hearing rustling noises from her yard, like she's keeping track of every move you make. The community feels smaller somehow, tighter, as if her watchful eyes are on you all the time. You can't shake the feeling that the situation is slowly building up to something bigger. Each time you look out the window, Karen is there, standing just inside her property, staring back at you. No words, just that same cold stare. You try to go on with your life, but it's hard to ignore the simmering tension that lingers in the air. The weather is warmer now, and you consider setting up another movie night, just like before, but the thought makes you hesitate. What if Karen calls again? What if this time it's worse? You know the cops won't be as friendly next time, and yet you don't want to let her win, don't want to cower in fear of someone like her. Then, one evening, a knock comes again. This time it's not just a friendly officer with popcorn. No, it's a whole squad car, lights flashing in your driveway. Panic rises in your chest, and your heart races as you step outside. You don't even need to ask. You know Karen has escalated things again. The officer's face is stern, and his eyes scan the yard before meeting yours. Is everything all right? He asks, but the tension in his voice tells you it's not just a casual inquiry. You feel the weight of the situation sink in, the air thick with uncertainty. What did Karen say this time? What's coming next? Before you can respond, a loud voice echoes from the street. It's Karen, standing at her gate, shaking her head, a smug grin on her face. I told you this wasn't going to end well, she calls out, her words dripping with satisfaction. The worst part, you can't tell if she's bluffing or if she really has something bigger up her sleeve. You can only feel the deep, unsettling chill crawling up your spine, knowing that tonight everything might change. The officer's eyes flick toward Karen, his expression hardening. You can tell this isn't the first time she's been a problem for the neighborhood. The tension escalates when Karen takes a step closer, practically leaning over the gate now, her eyes gleaming with something darker than before. I warned you, she says, her voice steady but cold. You've been breaking the rules. You've been warned. You feel your pulse race. What is she talking about? The movie nights. But everything's been quiet since the last warning. You even toned down the volume to avoid any issues. Could it be that this is something else entirely? The officer looks from Karen to you, then back at her, his jaw tightening as he steps forward. We'll need to take a look at your property, he says, his tone shifting from casual to official. There's been a complaint about zoning violations. Karen says you've been making changes without approval. The words hit you like a punch to the gut. Zoning violations. What does that even mean? Before you can process it, Karen chimes in, her voice dripping with satisfaction. I've seen you building that structure in your backyard. You didn't get the permits, did you? She pauses for effect, a smug smile spreading across her face. I made sure to report it. Hope you're ready for the consequences. You freeze, the gazebo, the one you've been working on for weeks with your friend. You didn't think it would be a problem. It wasn't large, just a simple DIY project. But now standing in front of you, it feels like it could be the final nail in the coffin. The officer doesn't seem to be on your side now. He looks at you with an expression that's less friendly, more wary. We'll need to investigate this, he says, pulling out a notepad. You may need to take it down, or face fines, maybe even a court date. Karen's grin widens as she stands there, arms crossed, watching the chaos unfold. Told you, she mutters under her breath, but loud enough for you to hear. The room feels smaller, and the weight of everything pressing down on you is suffocating. Is this really happening? Is this really how it's going to end? The officer steps closer, giving you one last look before he turns to Karen, leaving you standing there, unable to breathe. The stakes just went higher. You're not just fighting for your right to enjoy a movie night anymore. Now it's your property on the line, and the looming threat of legal action that could change everything. How far will Karen go to make you pay for a simple backyard project? And is there any way out before this spirals even further?